Belly up to the bar, barflies, and have a drink with me. My name is Kellen, and this is the Midwestern Barfly Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so happy to have you back for another week of this. I don't even have a word to describe this show. I think the best way to put it, the beer-soaked beliefs and thoughts that are my mind. That is my mind? Are my mind? I don't know. I'm a writer. I should know how to say that. Anyway, I am glad to have you here to listen to my ramblings. This is going to be yet another fantastic episode of this podcast, episode number 15. I hope you all having a great week so far. I surely am. The weather, I know I always start with weather for some reason. I don't know why. It's just, I got this great window right next to me here, and I just see the beauty of nature and whatnot. And to be honest, it's not so beautiful nowadays. Very humid, very, very hot. Not a big fan. I love the summer, love doing summer activities and whatnot. I'm a big fall guy though, right? I'm a big fall guy. Like, I love like the hoodie weather, the sweats weather, the around a campfire, bonfire weather, just beers outside. Like, that shit is what I live for. I love it. And thankfully, we're coming up on that weather pretty soon, even though it's very, very short. A lot shorter than the summer months. Very short time for that kind of temperature. And then we get into the nut freezing, face hurting, God, I want this to end winter of the Midwest. But we're not there yet, so let's keep the positive vibes rolling. But before we get into this show, as always, this show is sponsored by the Midwestern Barfly Gazette Shop. Yes, that is our merch store. That is where you get all the classic, great merchandise material that we offer, such as the I'm My Grandma's Bookie line, the WinBets Pound Beers line, the What Did I Do line, so much more that could be yours if you visit our store. Great thing is, link in the description wherever you are listening to this podcast, and just head there now, fill up your cart, buy some shit, and then make sure to take a picture of it when you receive it in the mail and put it on social media. We'll share it, retweet it, like it, whatever fucking thing we have to do, because we want to see you in our merch. But now that that is out of the way, let's get into today's topics. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to start off this show, I got kind of a weird topic for us to lead things off. It's a very, very odd one. To be honest, I've never heard anything like this in my 28 years on this earth. So apparently, in New York, according to an article by Fox News, and as always, any references I make to articles and whatnot, you will find the sources in the description of wherever you're listening to this podcast. Excuse me. So, apparently in New York, if you want to buy a can of whipped cream, like, you know, whipped cream that you got to put on cakes and cookies and pies and all that shit. If you want to buy a can of whipped cream, you got to be 21 and up. You're going to get, according to this article, businesses are going to start carding people to buy cans of whipped cream. They're treating a dairy product, a dessert, like it's a case of beer or a bottle of whiskey. My head hurts just thinking about this. And for those of you that don't know why, it's because teenagers have been using, for years actually, I'm 28, I'm aware of this, I've never partaken or partook in it, but I am aware of this. They use these whipped cream cans to get high because of the gases and the aerosols and the whatnot inside of the can. I don't know how they do it personally without getting whipped cream in their mouth, but that's neither here nor there. The problem with that is, doing this leads to serious health complications in the future, and even death. Now, for the record, I'm not trying to make light, make fun, make jokes, or make a serious topic like this very goofy. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to, like, that part, leave that on the other side of the coin here. Because that's a serious topic and we need to figure out how to fix it. And it's going to take more than just saying kids should stop being stupid. But that's another story for another day. I'm here to comment on this stupid shit of trying to card people to buy cans of whipped cream. That's not how to go about fixing this problem. That's not how to go about this. Why? Number one, if a teenager or like somebody that does this, that's under 21, wants to actually partake in sucking on whipped cream cans, they're going to find a way around it, folks. Like, it's going to happen. And I'm not trying to speak up on, like, underage drinking, drug use, whatnot. I'm not trying to advocate for it. That's the word. I'm sorry. Advocate for that. Because that's bad. That's very bad. But if you just think about it as a logical person, these kids have been figuring this out with alcohol for years. Like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, people. So if a kid really wants to suck on a whipped cream can, they're gonna get it. But if they don't want to bother with that, there are also tons of other drugs in the world, folks. Tons of other drugs, including a fentanyl problem that's gone way off the rails. And the fact that we're worrying about whipped cream cans over fentanyl is mind-boggling to me. But that's, again, another story. We're settling on this, or we're working on this. Two, how I see this new law, how I see it in the grand scheme of things, and I wrote this in an article, I see this as almost like trying to put a piece of Scotch tape on a very leaky pipe. Think about it. Scotch tape, very weak. Leaky pipe, probably going to break the Scotch tape or find a way around it. So, if you take the water as the teenagers and the Scotch tape as this shitty law, they're going to find a way around it. It's not going to do anything. And all the government's doing is just trying to make it look like they're doing something, but at the same time, not putting as much effort into fixing the problem. They're like, oh, hey, we care about this. Let's slap this very shitty, very easy to get around law, very problematic law, and it should fix everything, which it won't. But that's the society we live in. Third point I want to make is, could you imagine the conversation between a cashier or even a grocery store employee to a customer saying that I need to card you if you want to buy this whipped cream? That would be the funniest thing in the entire world. I think every cashier or every grocery store employee should be mic'd up throughout New York, should be mic'd up so that we could hear that exchange whenever that happens. It should be like on national TV. It should be like on America's Funniest Home Videos. Because I think that's A, you're going to have a lot of Karens going off on them, and B, you're going to have a lot of funny exchange. Well, maybe few, because I don't really trust people. I think there's going to be a lot more people pissed off about being carded for whipped cream than making jokes, but there'll be a few here and there making jokes. Anyway, bottom line is those exchanges would be freaking hilarious. But in the end, though, will this work? I don't think so. It's not going to. It's not worthwhile. It's not like a groundbreaking thing. Hell, I'm talking about it on here, so obviously there's holes in this law or in this ruling. If I'm talking about it here and I'm picking at it, like one by one, you know that New York has to go back to the drawing board with this. And you know that if this goes out to the rest of the country, the entire country is just going to become a laughingstock. We give a shit about whipped cream cans more than we do actual problems. And I don't mean to get all political about this, but there are more problems at hand than this. We need better parenting. We need better this. We need better that. This is not the problem we're looking for, people. This is not the solution we're looking for. Like, Jesus Christ, let's get a grip as a society. Fuck. All right, so for the second topic of this episode, I wanted to revisit another article I did about complaining on social media about being single. Ladies and gentlemen, if you complain on social media about being single, you are an absolutely terrible person. And now when I say complaining, I'm talking about you think you're perfect, you're blaming other people for not dating you, you're making generalizations about certain sexes, like if you're a woman, making generalizations about men for women, same thing, like either way, rather. Like, and you're doing this and you're constantly posting it on Facebook, tweeting about it, hashtagging the shit out of it because you want attention. That's just the most annoying thing in the world. And it has to stop. It seriously has to stop. And one way, and the way I think we should do it to make that stop is if you are someone that does this and you post complaining about being single, you should be legally required to post screenshots of every single dating app that you are on onto that social media. Like right after you hit send on Twitter or Facebook. Right after. Why is that? Well, it's because if you are cocky enough and confident enough to say you are perfect and it's everyone else's fault that you're single, you should have no problem showing the world what you're working with. Like what your dating app looks like. I'm serious. I'm completely serious about this. Why? Because most of the time, if you're someone that's complaining about being single, your app looks like your profile looks like shit. You look like, most of the time, if you're complaining, you probably on your profile have three major things, or two major. Let's go with two, because the third one I forgot. Two major things. One, your pictures suck, and I've seen shitty pictures on profiles before. I've seen, and obviously, this whole point works for anyone. I'm talking anyone. Men, women, gay, straight, bi, whatever. This falls under everyone, not just one gender. I'm just a straight guy talking about the women's profiles that I saw. That's why I'm just focusing on that. Like, I'm focusing it from a straight man's perspective because that's who I am. But this counts for anyone. Any gender, any sex, whatever. So I've seen women's profiles where the pictures are just so stupid. Like, one, I saw this girl, she just had a full-on scoop of ramen just hanging out of her mouth. And it was like a close-up selfie. Like, and another one was just like her flipping the camera off, sticking her tongue out, and again, a close-up selfie. Now, who is swiping right on that? Who is swiping right? That just looks stupid. It looks stupid, it looks gross, and I'm like, I don't want to be with somebody like that. I'm swiping left all the time. And then secondly, the bio is the biggest piece of it as well. I've seen bios that say like, my guy must be 6'2" or over. My guy must treat me like a princess. My guy must pay for dinner. Must. Anything that's must related. And if you have a must profile like that, you're not getting swiped right on, or whatever kids are doing. You're just not. It's not going to happen. So, the point of the matter is, if you have a profile like that, and you're confident enough to say that it's somebody else's problem or somebody else's fault that you're single, you should absolutely have to put that on social media so that the rest of your followers, friends, and whatnot can see what exactly is keeping people from dating you. So that you can have people on social media give you constructive criticism on how to draw in more potential partners. And to be honest, I feel like that would be a perfect exercise for people like that. That'd be a perfect exercise because you're going to get a lot of people saying, oh, change this, like nice shit. You know, the internet is super nice. Like, change the pictures, change the bio. You're not going to get people like commenting saying, hey, you crazy person, take the ramen out of your fucking mouth and take a normal picture. You're not going to get that kind of stuff. I could be joking, but at the same time, I think highly of people. I might have just contradicted myself after saying I don't agree with people earlier in this podcast. I don't give a shit. I believe that it would be a good, like I said, exercise for someone like that. But will this happen? Obviously not. No one's going to agree to actually do this. People are too superficial. People are too about themselves. But also people are too private. And they're not going to want to out themselves on social media because they know they're just going to get absolutely roasted. And I'm using a lot of like young people terms. I don't care because I think it just sounds funny. Anyway, though, I want to know, what do you guys think of this potential plan to stop this nonsense and to get single people actually matched with a potential partner? Let me know in the comments. Hope to read some good ones. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on another great episode of the Midwestern Barfly Podcast. I'm very happy that you came back to this crazy collection of beer-soaked thoughts from my brain. I hope that this also started a lot of discussion with you, your friends, your loved ones, your moms, your dads, your dogs, your bartenders, anyone. So to really get the dialogue going. Like, get the dialogue going at the bar, at home, in the comment section, anywhere. That's what I'm here for. Here to start some dialogue. Here to get the ball rolling. Here so that people could come together and not have to be like on their phones, on their tablets, on their TVs and whatnot. Have a conversation. That's why I love this shit. That's why I love making this show. And I hope you continue loving this show as much as I do. I hope you continue coming back. And I can't wait to see you next week for the Sweet 16, episode 16 of the podcast. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. Rest of your week. Take care.